Do you like sponsored videos? It doesn't matter if you like sponsored videos! Because The Rock is starring in a brand new show called Wake Up Call, which is a transformational reality show on TNT where he goes around to families that are struggling, businesses that are struggling, or just helping people with their own personal issues, really turn things around. And he shows you that hard work and passion can really help do this for you. So if you're interested in seeing more, go ahead and click on the screen right here or in the description box below to see behind the scenes footage and other things. And be sure to tune into TNT on December 12th at 9/8 Central. And that way you too can smell what The Rock is cooking. So now that we got done with that Rudy Poo candy ass rock plug, let's talk a little bit about my squats. And what I wanted to focus on today was a little bit of comparison and contrast with flat shoes versus my Olympic shoes. Now I will say that this is for me specifically. So what might change is a lot of things for you depending on how you squat in terms of bar placement, in terms of your width, as well as your overall mobility, which in case you haven't noticed for me, is no bueno. So this footage was taken from Black Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, while you guys were out shopping. I was in the gym getting my squat on. But what I want to take a look at here first is my bar path, because this is something I've been struggling quite a bit with, as well as my depth. So the struggle is real and consistent as always. You see my descent is a little bit diagonal, while my ascent is a little bit more vertical. However, ideally, I would like these to be in line with each other as vertical as possible. What I have going here is more of like this little oval thing, diagonal down, straight up, and then I get to the top, I tend to drift back a little bit. But at least in this case, my bar path is consistent. Just happens to be consistently bad. But again, this is in flat shoes, so just take that into consideration. And this is something I want to try to work on going forward. Now, some of you had said you think my bar path is better with flat shoes than with ollie shoes, which you see right here. So I overlaid my bar path with flat shoes, and what you can actually see is it's very, very similar. It's almost identical. So at this point, better for bar path. For me, it's an inconclusive thing. I can't really say which is better. Now the next thing that grinds my gears is with my ankles and flat shoes. As you can really see on these pause squats, you can see my heels lift up slightly as well as my ankles kind of collapse in some. So this is something that's really apparent on these particular squats and has something that has left me feeling like these flat-soled shoes aren't as supportive, when in reality it's more that it's really just showing my lack of ankle mobility here. So to contrast that, showing you my Olympic shoes, what you do see is some ankle movement, but not as much. I feel a lot more stable in these shoes. Plus it lets me skirt around the issue of my collapsing ankle. So for me, Olympic shoes are definitely better in this case. Now the next thing I want to take a look at here is depth, and one of the things I want to remind you guys of is all of these things that I'm pointing out are for me only, so it might be different for you depending on your own form, mobility, mechanics, and all that other stuff. But I really wanted to take a look at this because what it's really doing is masking my own issues with form and mechanics. So these are all things that I can improve, but a lot of times the Olympic shoes itself will help me, again, get over these hurdles. However, I just really want to point out what issues I can see with myself and where I should really be focusing on. And for me, what I'm seeing here a lot of is my ankles. So let's contrast that to Olympic shoes, and for this, it's really tough for me to tell a difference between watching this and watching the previous clip because it's pretty close. So let's look at it side by side and just break down one rep. And for this too, what you'll know is it's going to be a little bit different because the angles are different. But for me, if I throw a line across from the top of my knee and look at where my hip joint is, it really looks like the Olympic shoes are better for me here. It looks like I'm leaning more forward on the left, but with that too, again, the angle is slightly different, so that could play a role for it. So better for my depth, definitely Olympic shoes. So there you go, just a quick comparison of how flat shoes and Olympic shoes affect my own personal squat. What I really took away from this video is if I improve my ankle flexibility in flat shoes, what that will likely do is also improve my depth and my form just a little bit because my ankles won't be coming up off the floor. I'll be able to sit back a little bit better. However, this too, improving it in flat shoes will also more than likely improve my Olympic shoe lift. So there you go. Let me know what you think. As always, thanks for watching. In the meantime, stay big.